Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Welcome back to the Fake Woke Podcast. This is your boy BobbyVILN. I'm back with another video. I'm here to talk about the corporate social credit scores for these businesses, or shall I say the CEI, or rather the ESG, the environmental, society, and corporate governance group. So my last video, I pretty much touched on the fact that there's basically a social credit score for these businesses, and it's basically an affirmative action plan for the alphabet community. Okay, so when it comes straight down to it, all of the alphabet pushing, all of the pandering you see right now is all for this social credit score that is very, very, very important to these companies. It's so important that they don't give a shit if you actually boycott their company. They don't care if you don't want to spend your money there. What's more important is the fact that they get a high CEI rating, or a CEI score, or a social credit score, and is rated 1 through 100. And I forgot the actual criteria. It's like workplace and cultural, cultural acceptance or something like that. I forgot the actual criteria. Maybe I'll post it later if people care. Maybe I won't. But that is what's more important. The fact that they losing money due to the fact that they cut a deal with a transgender to be their spokesperson of their brand does not matter to them. What matters is this social credit score. And the reason why this social credit score matters so much is because, like I said, ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance, is basically a conglomerate of BlackRock Investment Group, Vanguard Investment Group, and State Street Bank. These are the primary investors in majority of the American companies. So you talking about the Nikes, you talking about the Adidas, you talking about the Targets, you talking about the Bud Lights, you talking about all of this, a lot of this stuff. I think they got a stranglehold on about 80% of the American companies, and they all have to subscribe. To the CEI now, the Corporate Equality Index, which is basically the alphabet's affirmative action plan. You understand where I'm coming from? So let's say if Target chose not to release that collection, there's a possibility that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street Bank, or shall I say ESG, could request or could send a representative down there to their corporate office and request that they either do it, or they start reappointing they start switching out board members and start switching out CEOs. So basically these CEOs and these corporate folk, their jobs are on the line when it comes to when it comes to the CEI system, when it comes to this this corporate credit score. Basically, their jobs are at stake. A lot of them. Maybe some of them are down with it. They don't care. Maybe they just yeah, we don't care. This is for the betterment of society, which it possibly can be to a certain extent. But also, a lot of this stuff is coming off as pandering, and the only reason why I'm saying it's coming off as pandering because the forced bombardment of a lot of these campaigns. The Calvin Kleins, and like I said, the Adidas, the Nikes, they're all up under that one umbrella. The BlackRock, the Vanguards, the State Street Banks are the primary investors into these companies. And BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street Bank, the triple threat, or shall I say the Holy Trinity, they actually hold a lot of people's pensions hostage. If you really look into their investing and how they invest and whatnot, so much so to the point to where they tried to pass a bill to where they could stop their how can I say it? They tried to stop their influence over people's pensions by passing a bill, but Biden actually rejected that bill. It got so far up to the point to where Biden actually rejected that bill. So, with that being said, this is a lot deeper than what a lot of people think. It's not about the conservatives really are the right-leaning folk boycotting this shit. This is surely based on the fact that a lot of what's going on is forced brainwashing. It's not for us. It's not, like I said before, this is not for us. This is not for adults. They don't care about us. They care about children. They really want to focus on children. They want this shit out and about so children can get used to seeing this shit in the public eye, and then a lot of them will feel like or start to identify with this movement before they even understand what they're identifying with, is what I'm saying. And it's all fine and dandy for representation. Like I said before, it's fine and dandy for representation, for them to have representation. Nobody's saying you're not supposed to have representation. If that's what you want, you're a representation person, that's cool, that is fine. Nobody's knocking you. Nobody's knocking Dylan Mulvaney for getting his paper. Nobody's knocking whoever else is a prominent figure in the alphabet community from getting their paper. Go ahead and get your paper. We respect the fact that you want to get your paper, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge that they're pandering and they're trying to influence the younger folk. And that's the problem. It's so much so to the point to where they don't care about losing their money. They care about that social credit score, because a lot of those people are going to lose their jobs if that social credit score ain't high enough. Why you think Chick-fil-A made that announcement to where they rehired the same person that's been in control of their diversity, equity, and inclusion department? You know, like, they're trying to get their social credit score up, because if they don't, they're gonna start pointing fingers and like, hey, you gotta be removed from the board. You gotta be removed from the board. Matter of fact, you can't be CEO no more. These people's jobs is on the line. You know? Like, maybe it's that simple, or maybe a lot of these people are like corrupt, because within those higher ups, we just got to be honest, the alphabets have a lot of representation. When I'm talking about as far as the White House, and they already announced that. So everywhere you go, they got a lot of representation, especially in entertainment. They've been in entertainment, they just been on the low. Why do you think you're starting to see a lot more of, you know, the alphabets? A lot more rhetoric leaning towards their movement, you know. But that's all I wanted to say. It was real simple, real short. The social credit score is not only going to be for businesses, but it's going to be for us. And I'm going to make a special video for that one too. But make sure you like, subscribe, and you share my videos. I appreciate y'all for the support. No matter how small, I appreciate the support. Thank you.